Come with us as we visit St Clement's Church, Old Romney, in Kent. Hidden away on the atmospheric landscape of Romney Marsh stands St Clement's Church in Old Romney, a building that has watched over parts of Kent for centuries. Today, Old Romney is a small and peaceful village, but its name gives us a clue to a very different past. Before nearby New Romney rose in importance, Old Romney was an important settlement on the marsh. The landscape surrounding it has changed dramatically over the centuries. As the sea retreated, waterways shifted, and large areas of the marshland were drained and reclaimed. And standing through much of that change in history has been St Clement's. The church we see today is largely medieval, with parts dating back to the 12th century. Although there are suggestions that Christian worship on or around this site may go back considerably further. St Clement himself was an appropriate saint for the church in this landscape, traditionally regarded as the patron saint of sailors. His dedication reminds us just how closely the history of Romney Marsh was once connected to the sea. The church was constructed on raised ground, an important consideration in an area historically vulnerable to flooding. As you walk around St Clement's Church, you can see evidence of different generations that altered and repaired the building. Its architecture includes surviving Norman features, alongside medieval additions and alterations. Like so many ancient parish churches, it wasn't constructed in one single period. Instead, it developed gradually as the village, its population, and the needs of the congregation changed. Inside is where St Clement's becomes particularly memorable. One of the most distinctive features is its collection of old pew boxes. Rather than open rows of seating, these were made so that families could sit in the church together and have their own individual space during the service. But there's something else that immediately catches your eye. They're pink. The unusual pink interior has become one of the church's best known features, and there's an interesting connection between St Clement's and the world of film. During the 1960s, the church was used as a filming location for Disney's The Scarecrow of Romney Marsh, and also has connection to the film Dr. Sin. During the 18th and 19th centuries, the isolated roads, waterways, and vast open landscape of Romney Marsh made the area particularly suited to gangs attempting to move contraband such as tea, tobacco, spirits, and other goods inland while avoiding customs officers. So the St Clement's Church appearance in Dr. Sin's story couldn't have been much more appropriate for the setting. And Disney's involvement also became part of the church's modern history, with assistance given towards restoration work at St Clement's. Restoration of the building was eventually completed during the 1960s, helping to preserve this remarkable little church for future generations. Outside, the churchyard adds another layer to the story. Among those buried here is the British artist and filmmaker Derek Jarman. Following his death in 1994, he was buried here at St Clement's. The church itself is now recognised as a Grade 1 listed building, placing it among buildings considered to be of exceptional architectural and historic interest. But perhaps what makes St Clement's so special isn't one particular feature. It's the landscape surrounding it. For hundreds of years, generations of people who have walked through this churchyard and entered those doors, they experienced the Romney Marsh very different from the one we see today. A landscape shaped by water, storms, farming, trade, and even sometimes smuggling. And through all of those changes, this little church has survived. From its medieval stonework and Norman origins to its unusual pink pews, Disney connections, and the grave of Derek Jarman, St. Clement's contains far more history than its quiet appearance may suggest. Today, it remains one of the most fascinating historic churches scattered across Romney Marsh, places where you can still physically walk among centuries of Kent's history. And that's exactly why we like finding places just like this. If you enjoy the forgotten history, ancient churches, and unusual locations, along with the paranormal, make sure you're following South Ghost. And if there's somewhere you want us to feature in the next story, pop it in the comments, drop the location, or send us a message. You'll never know where South Ghost might end up next. But for now, my friends, just remember, you've been ghosted.